homesteading to prepping to common horse sense, we are College Hill Farm. Miss Wampus says hi to everybody. Hi, baby. Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Well, today I'm going to talk about my least favorite part of homesteading. Now, this could be living rural, even in the cities. This is my least favorite part of all of this. If you noticed, a couple of weeks ago, we put on a short called Meow. I had a raccoon coming up eating cat food. Well, the truth is, there are too many raccoons. A couple of years ago, I let the raccoons overpopulate and they ate all my corn for me. Well, I can't let that happen this year. My corn will be ready in about a month, and so I've got to deal with some raccoons, but I also have another problem, and let me show you. This is our garbage bin. And we don't have regular garbage pickup because the garbage man doesn't come up my lane. So I haul my garbage off. I keep it in bags and I haul it off. Well, let me show you what's going on. Looky there. Okay, I've got help tearing my garbage up. So now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take that out, individual cans, rebag it all, and haul it off. Well, that is one pain in the butt. So the problem there, raccoons. My daughter-in-law started calling them trash pandas to me, and I looked that up, and it's kind of a thing on the internet, so I may call this video dealing with trash pandas, but I don't know. I hate doing this, but the raccoons have to go. I've got to trap them. I've seen as many as 5 out here, and 1 or 2 raccoons is one thing. 5 or 10 is a whole different animal. 2 years ago, I guess it was 3 years ago. Anyway, 2 or 3 years ago, I trapped 21. 21. So I can't have that again. So I've got to deal with these fellas before my corn gets here. How do I deal with them? I deal with them with a have-a-hart trap. Now, this trap has just been sitting outside. It's full of weeds, so I'm going to pull it up here. The way this opens is this slides back, and then this will open up like that. Now, I'm going to put a hook up here. There's a hook, which happens to be missing. Okay, the hook is gone. Probably fell off. So I don't have a hook to catch that on, so I'll just have to turn it up and do it that way. I can catch it on the pan hook, I guess. There it is. I'm going to have to get all this junk out of here because that'll impede it from opening. Get these sticks, because there's sticks and everything in here. Now, raccoons are not like groundhogs. You saw where I used this to catch groundhogs, and a couple years ago I showed catching some raccoons too. But the thing about raccoons is they're tougher than a groundhog. I mean, way tougher than a groundhog. So, see right here under the pan, there gets to be dirt, so you got to get that dirt out from under the pan, or else the pan won't go down enough to close. So let me get that worked out of there, and any sticks that are under the pan. Now, with groundhog, they're not too rough on the trap. But a raccoon, almost every time I catch a raccoon, I have to fix something on this trap. They pull the pan up and bend it, or they do something else and bend it. Now, the way this works, let me do an example. The way this works, this pushes back and opens up, and there's a little catch right here, okay, that catches like that, and it holds it in place. You can get the catch. And that holds it in place. Then, back here, where this catch is, it runs down this wire down to the trip pan. And when something steps on it, it trips the pan and closes the door. So you want to put your food back toward the back. But I have a little problem. I have barn cats. Now, I could use cat food. Cat food is great coon bait. But I have barn cats. So I'll catch my barn cats if I try and use cat food. Well, what else can I use? Well, another great bait for raccoons is cantaloupe. Well, cantaloupe's expensive. I don't want to do that. So, what did I do? Okay, here is my solution to raccoon bait. Little marshmallows. Okay, raccoons love them. Possums love them. Groundhogs don't care for them. They don't worry with them. But the cats won't fool with them. So, this is going to take care of my raccoon problem, but it's going to take me a while. I might catch a raccoon tonight, and then one tomorrow night, and then one the next night, and one the next night. Okay? So it's going to take me a while to get rid of them. But what you want to do when you're baiting this is you want to open it up, set your pan hook. Now these will fall through these metal holes. Okay, it'll fall through the holes in this, which that's just fine. But what you'll want to do is put a few out here in front, and then a couple here between the front and the pan, and then some back here behind the pan where he can't reach his hand in there and get them. Because if he can reach his little hand in there and get them, he won't go in that trap. So, but it's just too tempting for him to go get them. Now, like I said, raccoons tear your trap up. They are rough on it. So, I'll have to work on this trap between every catch. Now, let's get over here and set it. I'm just going to put it right over here by my garbage bin. That is about how many I'm going to use for the entire trap. Put 2 or 3 out here. Some down there. And a bunch back there. And what will happen is that raccoon will have to climb in there to get them. So, we'll come back to you when I've got a little buddy in the trap. Now, for just a little bit of info, right at the beginning of COVID, Crystal and I were being very careful because I've got underlying health issues that I'm pretty sure if I got COVID, it would have took me out. But we were basically hiding out here at College Hill Farm. We were going out to the grocery store at daylight, 6 a.m. and getting groceries while there was nobody in the store hardly, and we didn't go flea marketing. We didn't do none of that stuff that we normally like to do. I love to go to the flea market. But during that time, we wore masks everywhere we went. We took extreme caution to not get COVID. And then in the middle of June, or I guess it's the middle of July, I got very, very, very sick. And I thought that I had COVID. And I went to my doctor, and they came outside and had me sit outside, and they came out and swabbed my nose and swabbed my throat, both, and called me then, sent me home, and called me when they got the results. I had influenza A. Well, I had been nowhere to be in contact with anybody with the flu. None of the kids had come over, nobody had come by, but I had influenza A. The only thing that I was coming in contact with was raccoons. Well, I went to looking things up, and raccoons are notorious carriers of influenza A. Okay, who would have thought that you could catch the flu from a raccoon? Anyway, they are notorious carriers for influenza. So I got influenza from the 21 coons that I caught that were in my corn patch. So this year, I will be a little more careful about handling any of the blood or anything from these raccoons. So it'll be a little bit more respect, because I don't want the flu again. We ate raccoons and stuff all the time as a kid, and I don't remember getting the flu from them. But back then, you got the flu, and you got it from somebody. Everybody got the flu every year. There wasn't no flu shot back then. Until I was older, there wasn't a flu shot. We all kept some kind of runny nose when I was a kid. So, yeah, I'll be a little more careful. Hopefully, they'll have the influenza shot available, and I'll go ahead and get one before I start doing the raccoons. But I got a feeling I'll catch one tonight, and I haven't had an influenza shot. So I had the influenza shot last year in September. I had the influenza shot in September. Me and Crystal get one every year. So let's see if we catch a coon tonight. Put me a zip tie on this, or a twisty tie, and put it up. And this is enough marshmallows to catch tons of coons. Okay, see you tomorrow, probably. Welcome back to day 5 of Are You Smarter Than a Trash Panda? Well, every morning for the last 5 days, this is what I've come out to. The trap is thrown, the bait is gone, but there's no trash panda in the bait, in the trap. So, I got to figure out what's going on. You'd think maybe they're sticking their hands through and getting the bait, but I don't think that's it at all. I think they're actually going in the trap, getting the bait, and then pushing the door open. Let me show you why I think that. This right here is supposed to be down such that it will keep the door get up in there. Such that it will keep this from coming back. But what's been happening is it's not going up like it's supposed to. In other words, it's just falling down. So I need to bend that to make it fit like it's supposed to. Apparently it's all bent. I can't do it and hold the camera at the same time, so let's see if I can get you positioned here where you can see what I'm doing. Where this bends up, it needs to be up in there, but what's happened is it's bent in a weird position. So it needs to be straightened out here. So I'm going to have to move the camera. So I'm going to turn the camera off and straighten this little hump out. Okay? Because if I don't straighten that hump out, I'm not going to get nowhere. Now this is the way that's supposed to work. So that this, when he tries to lift it up, he can't lift here. Well, what was happening was this was back and it wouldn't fall down. And that allowed this to be pushed back so that when the coon pushed up on the bottom, he was just able to push up and get out with no problem. So I think that's what the problem is. But we may come out in the morning and here I'll be again with an empty trap and no raccoon. But let's reset this thing and see what we can do. Alright, it's reset. Now let's put some bait in it. Well, for bait, I'm going to use some cantaloupe this time. And see if we can't make sure that it stays back by the pan. Don't want it to get under the pan, but we want to be back there where he has to come and reach and get it. Now let's see if I can drop one or two right on the pan. There we go. The rest of these go out here. Put some there just to give him something to look forward to. And now I'll throw a couple inside the trap so he has to go in a little bit at least. Okay, there they are. And there they are at the back. So let's see how it comes out in the morning. Okay, that concludes our video about dealing with trash pandas. Now, there are, the reason we call, my daughter-in-law calls them trash pandas. Here's a red panda. And here's a trash panda. See the similarities? Anyway, for the record, I didn't show you catching any of them. And the reason I didn't show you catching any of them is YouTube has just really got to where it frowns on that stuff. I caught them with marshmallows, and I caught them with cantaloupe, mushmelon, whatever you want to call them. Depends on where you live. I caught them on cantaloupe and marshmallows. So for the count, I got 4 raccoons, 2 groundhogs, and 3 possums. Now, in Kentucky, it's illegal to transplant wild animals from one area to the next. So you have to deal with them. And that's what I did. I took and I dealt with them. So they didn't make it to the next day. So they're all dealt with except for the possum. I have never had a problem with possums. Groundhogs, I've had a terrible problem in the garden, so every time I can eliminate one, I do. Raccoons, I've had a terrible problem with them in the garden and in the garbage, so when I can eliminate one, I do. Trust me, there's plenty. There's plenty more. Plenty more. But my garbage, they're not breaking into it anymore, and that's what I was after. Now, if you like this kind of stuff, this homestead, oh, and the possum, before I get ahead of myself, the possum I think instead of 3 possums, it was just a single possum. And he just kept coming back for dinner. Okay, so I think it was the exact same possum 3 different days. So I just turned him loose. Now, if you like this stuff, this homesteading, do-it-yourself kind of thing, be certain to come on out to the channel and subscribe. We do this homesteading stuff all the time. We upload on Sundays. Now, when you get to the channel, if you click the little bell up here, it'll notify you when we upload a video. Okay? Now it's time for me to get on to the next thing.